Thank you. Hello everyone. How's everyone doing? Are we enjoying Jon Summer-thon? I must admit I only heard about it myself about a couple of hours ago. So, hello, I'm OrchidTheFaeMoth, Orchid for short, and today I am here to hopefully do a decent showcase of Alt Drifter's any percent no major glitches. It's been a little while, so how this goes, your guess is as good as mine. But in case, for those that haven't played Hyperlight Drifter before, the main difference between Alt Drifter and Standard, which I'm going to cover now briefly because the run goes by relatively quick, is that Alt Drifter, their attack is a lot more narrow. She attacks faster, and she only has a maximum of 3 health rather than 5. So some fights can get a little dicey. But we're going to go ahead and get started. If everyone is ready, thank you for the look in chat. And we're going to get started in 3, 2, 1, go. Why isn't my timer running? My timer is running. There we go. So immediately we're going to sit down and stand back up again because it's a lot faster than going through the animation. We're going to go ahead and grab this, which is going to show us part of our objective. Immediately we're going to go ahead and open the door and slip straight out. Activate the telepad because we have to. We're going to pause and unpause real quick to avoid opening the map. And we're going to see this little cutscene right here, which is the game showing us, hey, this is what you need to do. Unavoidable, but here we go. So you'll notice that we've got this starting dash of 3 chains. It's pretty slow, but it is definitely a lot faster than walking. As I mentioned earlier, the Alt Drifter attacks a lot faster and is a lot more narrow, but you're going to see me do something we call plinking. Now normally when you attack with the standard attack button, you only deal 1 damage. We also have a pistol, and each shot of the pistol also does a single damage. Now we can't attack with our weapon and then shoot with the pistol. We can, however, shoot and then attack. So we can do that repeatedly to double our damage. We're going to go ahead and we just grabbed our first little bit there. We're going to be collecting 12 of these in total as we go through north, and we need these so that we can get our chain dash, which we won't get for a little while. So we're stuck with this little slow dash for now. Dashing in this game, it can be it's a little funky at times. Sometimes if you dash across the gap, it resets the dash count, so you can sometimes get 4 or 5. Dashing upstairs can also be a teeny bit wonky, but you know, it's all just part of the charm. We're going to go ahead and try to avoid getting our butts bitten, and we're going to go ahead and meet Anubis. Hello Anubis. We're also about to say hello to our best friend Gary. Everyone say hello to Gary. There's Gary. Gary likes to show up in each region. We're currently in North. Gary provides the purpose of, you're supposed to talk to him and he tells you a little bit about what's going on in the region through images and highlights on the map where these 4 modules are that we need to collect in each area. And here is module number 1. We need to collect 4 of these in north, east, west and south in that order. I'm going to quickly pause and unpause to skip the map opening. And we're going to go ahead and scoot our butts right on out of here and make our way to grabbing module number 2. Once again, we're going to hope that we don't get our butts bitten. There we go. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Thankfully it didn't this time. Here we're introduced to the bird cultists. They'll do that purple beam attack which deals 2 damage, and we only have a maximum of 3. So we really want to avoid getting hit by that. We're going to grab our second bit over here. We're going to scoot off to this little hidden area, deal with these birds in a timely fashion. Whoops, almost. Grab our third bit and sneak off down here to grab this key right here. What is it for? You won't find out. Not for a little while. We need that key later, but for now we can... Whoops, that's a silly angle to dash to. But we don't need that key for a little while, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. We're going to come up here and once again sneak off down here to grab our 4th bit to create this whole gear bit. And I'm going to take that safety heal there as well, just in case. Coming up is our next bit. I'm going to walk here, I'm going to dash twice, kill that bird, grab that bit, grab that medkit. Ooh, and avoid getting pooped there. Now this game has arenas. Arenas are exactly what they sound like. They will lock you into an area and you have to kill specific enemies to get out again. So we're going to go ahead and kill that big burp up there. We're going to deal with that one. 1, 2, 3, kill that one, deal with that one. We're going to shoot that bird, and shoot. Oh, angles off there. Shoot that bird. Dog spawns in there, so we're going to go ahead and deal with that. 1, 2, 3, we're going to kill that bird. Deal with that one, and the arena is done. Nice and smooth. We're going to go ahead and grab this telepad for later, because we're going to need that. Fun fact about those, every time you activate one, it refills your health and ammo, so they can be pretty handy. We're going to go ahead and scoot off down this way to our next module, but first we need, whoops, another bit right there. Hopefully we're going to not dash off. There we go. Hit this elevator and into one of the riskier rooms of North. Must admit, this room makes me a teeny bit nervous. Especially since dying in this game can be very, very unforgiving. We're just going to go ahead and grab that real quick for safety. There's our next bit. That floor's going to disappear, so we're going to go ahead and hopefully get through this room without getting shot like I usually do. There we go. And scoot this way. Oop. Hit that button. Go up here. We're going to deal with this room of birds. There we go. Nice and clean. And there's our 8th bit. We only need 4 more. Down here is our next module. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open the map and hold the activation button and teleport at the same time so that we can stack the animation of opening the module and teleporting to save a few extra seconds. Once again, we're going to go ahead and move on, and we're going to go scoot our butt over this way to get our 3rd module. We only need 1 more. There is also the boss left to deal with, which will be coming up in just a moment. I'm actually going to go ahead. Oh, let's make sure we don't accidentally dash through the wall, because that invalidates the run. So on our way to the 4th module, I'm going to talk a little bit about the boss coming up, which is Bird Pop. Also, I like to refer to him as Harvey Bird Pop. Just a fun little thing. So Harvey Bird Pop is one of the harder bosses that run. It's also the first one, and the reason that this boss is so difficult is because every attack it does deals 2 damage out of our 3 maximum, and it is very RNG based in comparison to all the other fights in the game. Ooh, nice proper chain dash there. I'm going to go ahead and enjoy that. I'm going to pause just for a second so that we get the auto save, because if I die I go all the way back to the start of that previous room. Oh, nearly got hit by that. I'm going to grab that bit. Bird there, kill the slimes. Kill there. Oh boy, there we go. Excellent, nice and clean. And here is our 4th module. We're going to go ahead and wait for the autosave to appear in the bottom corner, and as soon as it does, we're going to go ahead and quit and reload, because opening the 4th module tends to give a slightly longer animation. If you're playing Standard Drifter, you get a whole cutscene that we skip. Thankfully, not something we have to worry about with Alt Drifter. But it still takes a few extra seconds, so we skip it. You're going to see me picking up all the health kits I can, and the reason for this is if you have 3 med kits and you are missing health, the next time you pick up a med kit, it just gives you a straight heal, just like that. So we're going into Bird Pop with full med kits and full health. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and then move. Oop. I'm going to heal because, oh boy, yep. Yeah, this is going to be, I'm going to play it a little bit safer than usual here. We're going to go and let these birds get in. Oh boy, yep, there we go. Okay, off to that corner. Alright, phase 3, excellent. Skipped all the other phases. Perfect. Oh boy, where'd you go? Where'd you go? There you are. Yep, and that is Bird Pop. First try too, so I'm very happy with that. Fun fact about Bird Pop, it is just 2 different birds in a giant coat. And now we have all the 3 gears that we need to get the chain dash, but first, before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and grab that. We're going to get the laser rifle, which you are going to see a little bit of use in East, which will be coming up in just a moment, but first we have to activate this tower. And again, we're going to hold the activation button and immediately teleport back to town at the same time, so that we skip all the animation stuff. Okay, now that we're back to town and we have our bits, we're going to go ahead and... Oop, I'm going the wrong way. Busy talking. We're going to slip into this shop, and now we get our chain dash, finally. Now, this is when we start to move really quick. You can see that I can do these quick chain dashes. You can chain dash for as long as your stamina bar that has now appeared in the top left corner lasts. Despite that, you're going to see me only chain dashing in 2s and 3s. The reason for this is because if we dash 3 times and hit something, we bonk into a wall, which slows us down because it takes a second to get back up. If you dash more than 3 times and then stop, you do a slide, which again is a little on the slow side, so we're going to avoid doing that as much as possible. There will be times where we make use of a full chain dash, but you don't see it too often. A lot of the rest of the run is stamina management. So here we are in East. Visually, one of my favourite regions of the game. The music as well is just so stunning and peaceful, despite the fact that the story for this area is a little miserable. You know, this place was run and habited by some very adorable, peaceful otters, and then all these toads just showed up to take over and started murdering everyone. So it's a little bit grim. But right here, we're going to go ahead and grab module number 1 for East. And I haven't fallen off any platforms yet, which is nice. I usually fall off all over the place. Kind of infamous for it, really. We're just going to go ahead and... Oh, there we go. Spoke too soon. Fall number 1. So we're going to go ahead and make our way this way. We're going to completely ignore this teleport because we don't need it. Although it would have been... you can pick it up if you need the health and ammo, but I think we're pretty good golden on that for now. One of the best parts about being terrible at a speedrun for this is you learn where all the medkits are pretty quickly. Thankfully we don't really need any right now. But we're going to go ahead and make our way down here. We're going to kill those explosive plants, deal with that guy, open our door, grab this health kit, and enter our next arena where we see these giant brute bugs that deal, again, 2 hits. So we're going to do our best to avoid... I didn't get the quick kill there, but never mind, it works. That's our arena dealt with. We're going to go ahead and make our way to module number 2. Hopefully I don't get murked in here because it's very easy to with all these enemies, and nice and smooth. Excellent. Don't see that too often. Hey Arg, thanks for the good luck. We're going to go ahead and open module number 2 for East. There is no time to rest though, because as soon as we enter the next area, we'll be going into our next arena. Right through the next door, where you're going to see the first use of our laser rifle that we picked up from North. We're going to go ahead and knock that over there. Fun fact about the enemies in this game is that their hitbox is active before they even spawn, before they finish spawning in. So you can actually kill enemies before they can have the chance to an attack, which is always fun. Animal economy is a little bit off there, but that's okay. So that's a reader done. Now we aren't moving onwards that way just yet, because if you remember, we picked up a key earlier in North and we're going to use it in here for what is arguably the most terrifying room, the flamethrower room. This room always makes me a little bit nervous because it's so easy for it to go wrong. Hopefully we'll get in, oh, okay, in and out nice and clean. Oh, damn it. Timing was slightly off. I got caught by the flamethrower, but that's okay. It does happen. We'll just try it again. Whoops, a little bit early. Another interesting fact about this game is that there are no iframes. So if you take damage and fall off a ledge, you just take twice the damage. Your dash is not a dodge. Okay, we made it through. We're going to go ahead and heal that. Once we get this and the save icon appears, we are once again going to quit and reload. Not to skip a cutscene, but it resets the flamethrower cycle and the enemies in the room, which hopefully makes for a quick escape. Assuming I don't dash off any edges again. There we go, a nice clean exit despite the slight issues we had getting in there in the first place. There's a nice little medkit up here, which is going to go ahead and grab. You want to keep as many medkits as you can. You may notice that with those pink doors, that we can kind of dash through it just as the activation ends before the door opens. It's why it's no major glitches. Hello Anubis, which also means we get to see Gary again. Everyone say hello to our best friend Gary, who likes to keep an eye on us. He shows up, he does his thing, and we never talk to Gary. But he's there, keeping an eye. Oops, there's a bonk. And whoops. We're gonna go ahead and just chain dash full out, because we don't need to worry about it. Okay. So we're going to make our way to our third module, which is a little bit of ways. Whoop, didn't mean to waste that. We're going to get a little cutscene here introducing us to these new enemies that we're going to completely ignore for now. Hopefully, we get another really... Whoops. Bye. There we go. Not as clean as I would have liked, but we still got the laser shot to speed things up. I'm going to just hit that enemy a couple times just to refill my ammo just to make sure, because we have another arena coming up, but it doesn't trigger right away. We have to go all the way up here to see that the bridge isn't there. Nope, no bridge, so we come back down. We're going to shoot those two, kill that frog, deal with these explosive plants, hopefully not explode. Perfect, just what we like to see. So we have to go and whoops, that's a bonk. We have to activate that bridge, so we're going to come through here. Thankfully, that frog can't hit us from there, so we're going to go ahead and skip through this. Another interesting fact about the projectiles in this game is that so long as they are on screen, they are active. So they don't despawn after a certain distance. So now that we've got the bridge, we're going to go and enter our next arena. Whoops, that's another silly fall. And that's oh. What is good? Game, thank you. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Frog's going to spawn there, we're going to deal with that frog, kill this plant, switch to the laser, deal with that frog, and we're done with that arena. Because arenas don't require you to kill every enemy, just a certain specific list of enemies. We're coming up on the next boss, which is arguably one of my favourites, because we get to do a really cool cutscene skip. Oops, let's just So, we're going to go ahead and count 1, 2, 3, 4. Dash, shoot and dash, and I got squished. I was not paying attention. So we're going to go ahead and leave and go back in so that we can abuse the bullet mechanics so we can skip the cutscene. So once again, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, shoot, and I missed the shot. Never mind. Well, you got to see it the first time, it's all good. So, fun thing is that this boss casually is actually quite hard, but if you stand to one of the sides of it, it'll just ground pound, and you can just sit and wail on it without having to take any hits at all. So that is the East boss done. We're not done with East just yet. We're going to go ahead and trigger this, and once again, we're going to quit and reload to skip the animation. And before we go grab our last module, we are going to get the shotgun, which is going to boost our damage like absolute crazy. Make sure I got the right weapon. Nope. We're going to have to do a little bit of quick menuing, because there we go. So we don't need the laser anymore, not really. Now, if you remember my explanation of plinking, where we shoot then attack, we can't... Oh boy, that's not good. Oh boy, slight disaster. So you may remember, as I explained plinking earlier, where we fire our pistol and then immediately attack. The thing with the shotgun is that the shotgun has a short cooldown between shots, so you can't really do it as quickly. However, if you switch weapons from the shotgun to the pistol and then switch back again, it completely cancels the cooldown. So long as we shoot, attack, then switch, and continue that pattern, we can plink with the shotgun almost just as easily as we can with the pistol. And the shotgun does fire 5 bullets, which means we can basically do 6 damage per attack, which, as you can imagine, kind of gets through boss health pretty quickly. But we are, of course, now moving into West, which is personally one of my favorite areas to play through. East is my favorite visually. The soundtrack for East is absolutely gorgeous. But West is my favorite to go through for the speedrun because I adore the movement. It is known as the Crystal Forest, also referred to by some of us as the Hitbox Forest, because the hitbox for the trees is a little bigger than you expect, so it can be really easy to get stuck on the trees as you move through them. So you have to be a little bit more careful with the movement. We're going to go ahead and do these slow dashes just to get some stamina back for this room once I start hitting the trees. And we're going to go ahead, hopefully not get bit in the butt. Oh boy, they're catching up, there we go. I will say chain dashing not as easy as it looks. The input timing for it is quite precise, and arguably one of the things that takes the longest to get used to in this run. It takes a surprising amount of practice. We're going to go ahead and grab that. And we're coming up to another arena, and this is another example of why we call it no major glitches, because the transition zone into the next room actually extends past the wall if you go up to that tree, so you can completely skip doing that arena. So we don't need to do that. Whoops, that's a bunk, and that's another bunk. I keep forgetting you can hit that. So we're going to go ahead and grab that because we are going to need it later. Whew. We're coming up on another arena in just a moment, which we can skip, but it works a little differently because for some reason there's a spot against that wall that if you stand there, the game just kind of assumes that you're done with the arena and goes, okay, yep, you're done. Let's let down the wall. You can go ahead and move on. So obviously we take advantage of that, and we just completely ignore the arena. One less thing to worry about, right? Hopefully I don't blow myself up because I've done that a few times. I'm going to go ahead and shoot that barrel so that we can activate this, which opens up the platform. You can use these crystals to get ammo back, which I'm actually going to do right now while we wait for this. There we go. And okay, we didn't get to skip through that tiny little corner, which is fine. The game likes to magnetize you to platforms. So here we are at module number 2 in West. Whew, it is warm in the UK today, I gotta tell you. So now that we're done with that, we're gonna go ahead and hit the next elevator. Thankfully, no elevator music, which would be kind of nice. A little bit of elevator music. We're gonna stop here and wait for a second because these wolves are likely to kill themselves on those crystals, so we don't have to worry about it. We're gonna ignore literally everything in this giant room and skip around these crystals. We don't need to break because there's a nice little hidden path we can walk through. And in this room, you will find module number 3. There we go. Triangle number 3. Doritos. So with that done, we're going to make our way to the boss, because North is actually the only region of the 4 that we get all 4 modules before we fight the boss, which is kind of neat. Oh boy, let's hopefully not get hit. There we go. So we're going to scoot on up here and open the door. Now we're coming up to the Crystal Bridge, which on Standard Drifter is quite dangerous. I'm going to try to do the full chain dash across the bridge. Let's see how this goes. Nope, never mind. Misplaced it. Once again, we're going to see Anubis. And you know what that means. Everyone get ready to say hello to Gary because he is... Whoops, oh, it's a very strange angle to dash at. That was silly. Normally you get a cutscene, but there's actually a little hole in the wall there that we can walk through, and it completely skips the trigger for the cutscene. So we're going to go ahead and open that door, as well as grab that while the door opens. bye Gary, we'll see you soon. Now, as I said earlier, we occasionally use a full chain dash, and this is the room we get to use it in, so... Zoomies. We get to do the zoomies, which is always satisfying. Coming up is the boss of West, which is General. I'm going to attempt to get the speed... can't talk. A particular strat. Which I didn't get, so never mind. We'll have to do this a little bit slower. Oh, why isn't the shotgun going? There we go, one cycle, perfect. We got the one cycle, which is about as good as you can ask for. Which I'm extremely happy about, because that's one of the bosses I struggle with most in this run. He can be a bit of a butt. So really pleased to see that we got the one cycle on that. But we are not done with West. We still have one more module to get. And you might be wondering where that is. It's tucked out of the way. So we're going to make our way to grab module number... Whoops, that's a bonk. We're going to sneak across there. And in this little dark area, we find module number 4. Hopefully, I don't get bit. Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh, this is risky. There we go. I don't trust. Nope, don't trust it. Normally, if you don't destroy all of the flowers, some of the wolves will get stuck, and you don't have to worry about it. But didn't quite go as planned. I almost got my butt bit. And you definitely want to kill them because they can attack and kill you in that animation, and you will soft lock if you do. But we are now done with West. There is only one region left to go, and that is South. Arguably the hardest of the 4 regions to get through, because it is very unforgiving. Especially, whoops, there's the bridge. Silly me. Are we ready? Everybody get ready to say hi to Gary one last time. We will not see him for the rest of the run after this. There's Gary. Goodbye, Gary. We will see you in the next run. Once again, we're going to go ahead and grab that. And I got the swag slide too. Excellent. So, here we are in South, the majority of which is actually underground in these weird secret labs. Again, South is, as I said, the hardest of the 4 regions we go through. It is very unforgiving. Any small mistakes can be a major setback. So we're going to be a little bit more cautious, especially in this room in particular. So we need to kill everything in here in this arena. Hopefully not get shot to death by the turrets. Oh boy! Did I get the kill? No, I didn't. We'll just do it that way. This is the worst room to die in, because if I die, I go all the way back to the start of that arena. Oh boy, let's not get crushed though. We're going to wait for that just in case, because that crush is an instant death. Oh, take that heal. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and... Oh, alright then. Deal with the enemies in this arena. Ooh, I'm a little bit short on ammo actually. We're going to go ahead and kill these just for the ammo economy. And here we have, in South, our very first module. So let's go ahead and pick this up. But that looks a little... Oh, no, it's secretly a mimic. Oh, that's not good. So normally we can kill the mimic before it starts moving, which is what you really want to do, because that fight can get out of hand very quickly. I did make a few slight mistakes with my weapon switching, but that's okay, we still got it. So here's the real first module, and once again we'll go ahead and TP right back out. And we're going to make our way to our actual second module, which is just over this way. Thankfully we got through that particular hard room without too many issues, because like I said, a death in there will send you quite far back, and it is quite a bit of a time loss. Hey, I didn't get shot. I sometimes get shot there. That's a nice change. Once again, another arena to deal with real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that health kit. We're gonna get the shotgun ready because in the next room is a guy with a rocket launcher. And if you don't deal with him quick, it can kill you pretty much instantly. Oop, there we go. Because those rockets deal 2 damage and you can get knocked off the map. Or you can just do what I do and dash off it. That's fine too, I guess. Oh wait, I'm gonna get shot in the butt. I'll just fall off the edge. There we go. What is dashing? I tell you. Was that module number 2? No, that's number 3. No, that's 2. I can't count. Oh well, there it is again. Okay, so we're a little short on medkits, so I'm gonna stand here and blow that. Shoot those, so that we don't have to deal with it. You can walk around them, it's just a little safer to blow them up. Or at least I find it a little bit safer to blow them up. Thankfully, we can just go ahead and skip most of this room by doing this neat little skip here by landing on that little invisible platform. I'm going to go ahead and activate this to turn all the turrets off, open the doors, and deal with these little imps real quick so that they don't sneak up on us. Didn't quite get them all, but that's okay. Sometimes getting that little imp there isn't guaranteed. This is module number 3. I can't count. Alright, with module 3 done and gathered, we're gonna move on to our next boss fight, which is the Archer. Ooh boy, I'm gonna get shot. Yep. Oh boy. Uh-oh. There we go. Whew. The Archer's a particularly fun fight. We do our best not to get shot by Archer because the Archer likes to move around a lot. And if you get shot, she moves earlier. We're going to hopefully skip most of this room by doing a little wiggle and hitting that hidden platform just behind that barrel, that little container. Into Archer. Another boss fight I've struggled with in the past, but hopefully we'll get the 1 cycle. So we're going to... 1 second. I'm gonna focus here. Damn it. I knew it. Yeah, the mine got me. This is why we try to 1 cycle, because those mines are a butt to deal with. But that's okay. Sometimes it happens. Yep, I'm gonna take that heal. There we go, we finally got her. She can be tricky, she moves around a lot. And if she starts putting those mines down, they can really take up the arena space. The downside is that we are a little short on medkits, which is a shame. But there's plenty to pick up, like I said earlier. The best part about being terrible at a game is you learn where all the medkits are. Very quickly too. We're gonna go out. We're now gonna activate this tower and once again do the double activation to teleport back to the main area herself. We still have 1 more module to get though, and it is the dash challenge module, which I like. It's a lot of fun. Oops, let's not get stuck on the wall there though. It means we have to do a nice long chain dash and it has to be pretty much perfect or we're going to fall. I've counted this out, so from here we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, never mind. So let's just go ahead and pick that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Oh dear, I'm too busy counting. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. 3rd time's the charm. We are now done in south, so we're going to go ahead and do the double activate once again. Now that we have all of our modules and all the towers active in all of the areas, this elevator in the town is going to be active. Oops, let's not bonk that. Whee! So now we're going to go underground under the town, and this is our main objective. We are making our way to the final boss of the game. It is a really cool boss called Judgment. I like to call it Squidward, which you'll soon see why. Casually, again, it can be a pretty tricky fight. It has a bunch of different it has a few different phases. And if all goes well, you aren't going to see those phases at all, because the phases are tied to its health. And hopefully, you know, it has a bunch of really cool attacks and it does some really neat stuff. Fingers crossed, you aren't going to see any of that happen, because we can blast through it before it can do anything. We are coming up towards the end of the run for the organizers. There'll be about maybe a minute left, maybe less. Hopefully less, assuming it all goes well. We're going to make sure our shotgun is equipped. It says we've got about 40 seconds left if all goes well. This is probably my favorite fight. I really enjoy this fight. So we're going to stumble around and cough. I'm going to try and place myself so that when we get knocked back we're still close. We're going to listen for an audio cue. There we go, and immediately we're going to start shotgun blasting, and that is phase 1. We'll stand up here so we can destroy all these mines. Uh-oh, that's not good. Whew, that was close. Nearly let that one get away from me. Uh-oh, come on. No, 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 no. Yep, there it is. Those mines got away from me, I must admit. Never mind. We'll just have to do it again. Oh boy, that's not good. That's not good. There we go. So you got to see a little bit of what its attacks can do there. Once again, we're done with that phase. We're going to go ahead and destroy these for the ammo and to keep them out of the way. And that is the final boss done. And time is coming up in about 6-7 seconds. As soon as the screen fades to black completely, we are going to be done. I apologize for the loud audio. And that is time. I don't know why my timer is still running. Oh boy. Whoops. Apparently the timer didn't actually split when it was supposed to. Never mind. I'm just going to go ahead and mute the game, because it is very loud. So yeah, that is the Hyperlight Drifter, Alt Drifter, any percent no major glitches run. Not as smooth as I would have liked, but it has been a little while, so about as well as I could expect. I know, Sinus, but it's so loud. Do you know what? I might be able to. You know what? Let's turn it down in the volume mixer. There we go. Now we can hear it, and it's not so loud. Yes, thank you for the GGs. I hope you enjoyed the run, as scuffed as it was in places. This was the game that got me into speedrunning, and I'm so glad it was, because it's an excellent game. Highly recommend it casually or as a speedrun. It's a pretty easy, fairly easy run to learn, harder to master, I think. But definitely one I'd recommend casually and as a speedrun. Super fun, especially the Alt Drifter. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it from me. So thank you for having me. This, as I said earlier, was my very first marathon run. So super excited about that. And yeah, over to the organizers, I guess. Jon Summer-thon is the theme. I love it.